Hello, geniuses. Welcome to episode 0.5. Calling it 0.5 because it's not quite episode 1. We still got a little bit of polishing to do, but we basically wanted to put something out there that just explained who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing this crazy project. And Polkadot himself is right there with me. AB, how you doing?
Well, excellent. SD, how are you doing today?
Great. Glad to have you here. It's good that we were finally able to make this happen. So, so like I said, this is basically just our chance to kind of introduce ourselves and talk to all you geniuses out there and let you know kind of what our plan is, where we want to go with this, why we're doing it, things you can expect to see in our episodes. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. This started... that was basically February, I believe, is when I came to you, AB, with this idea. I literally met you at CraveCon. Crave Collectibles is my local card shop. Big shout out to them, and I'm sure you're all going to hear way more about Crave as this journey happens. But they had an event in February called CraveCon. AB came out from his home. As I'm sure you can see here, AB and I are not located together. We're doing this in separate locations. It's how most of these episodes are going to happen. But anyways, he came out to CraveCon and we met and hit it off. And then we went to LA Collecticon, hung out all day there. And then I called him that night with this crazy idea. So, I mean, is that kind of how you take it, AB?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember went up finally after talking to Crave several years, just through the streams on several platforms, finally just coming in and getting to go up to CraveCon, getting to meet you in person, getting to meet the guys, going up to the shop, just kind of being around the environment, being around the community, just kind of understanding, we're just regular guys, just kind of all in the middle of it, enjoying this incredible hobby or the multitude of hobbies that just kind of in the middle of all collectibles or all trading cards.
Sure. Yeah.
You came up to me and you were like, hey, you know what? I got an idea. I'd like to know what you think about it. And is this something you'd like to participate in and just kind of go on this journey with me? And I immediately throwing it out there. I love the idea. I felt like you and I had a great chemistry. We hit it off immediately. I got to meet your family. And at the same time, it was just an understanding of wanting to just put something out there for the community, for them to be able to come together, throw out ideas. We've seen plenty of questions. We've answered plenty of questions, through the multitude of the platforms through Crave Collectibles. And it's just a ride that we wanted to go on. And we're starting off now.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a little more background to that through Crave, we actually honestly met, most of us all met through their eBay live stream. So it wasn't even a face-to-face thing. And CraveCon was actually the first opportunity that a lot of us had to show up and actually meet in person. So it was one of those things like, a bunch of dudes just randomly got together and met on the internet and then met in real life, as weird as that sounds. So, but yeah, so that's kind of the background with that. And then, it's just like you said, I think a big part of this, it's all about the community. And I think just touching on that for a moment, it's what's going to make this channel different than the other Pokemon, the other TCG, the other collectible channels that are out there, because there's some really, really good channels out there. And I'm sure some people are probably watching this right now and they're like, you guys are nuts. Like, really, you guys are going to get in on this? What are you doing? Well, first, this is honestly just a chance for you and I to just nerd out and talk about something that we're passionate about, Absolutely. So, I mean, it is for the community, and I'll get more on that in a second, but it's a chance for us to just get together and hang out, basically, and talk about something that we really enjoy talking about and just sharing that with the YouTube world. But what's going to make us different is our channel. Our goal isn't, and AB, please feel free to chime in anytime here, but it's not about watch us rip packs, watch us get this stuff and do that, or watch us do these big challenges. And I'm not saying that those are bad, because I watch those things and I enjoy them immensely. And that's what got me even more excited about collecting and getting into this and having this idea. Ours is more about the community. And I keep saying that, but what I mean by community is that has been one of the biggest things that has impressed me since I've started collecting and getting into TCG. And my involvement with this hasn't been that long. I started in November. And for me, it started, my kids are into Pokemon and I knew about it and I really didn't pay attention to it or anything like that. And then somehow I started getting little recommendations on my YouTube feed about, hey, watch these. And it was people ripping packs. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat, you know? And then I started watching more. And then finally I was like, I got to check this out myself. I gotta rip something. And it was Pokehaxi, who I hope you watch this. And I've sent you the invite and really hope to have you on the show. But he rips live on YouTube and he was just ripping packs and hanging out and having a good time. And after watching that a couple times, he does his live streams and stuff. I was like, I got to go do this myself. And I ripped my first pack and it was done. It has just been history since then. And I'm full into TCG and not just Pokemon. I mean, if it's TCG, I pretty much love it. So that being said, like I said, the community there. And then the more I got involved, I actually go and play. My daughter and I go and play Pokemon. We've been playing Lurkana at home. I've gone and played some One Piece myself. I've even played some Magic at some of my local shops. But it's always the community. All right. And I keep saying that, but it's about the community because never have I really walked into a room full of people that didn't know each other.
Yeah, complete strangers, right?
Sit down. Yeah. And you start playing this game and everybody is just genuinely happy. There's no judgment. Everybody's happy for each other. Everybody's there just to have fun. It is just a cool, welcoming place to be. And it's just impressed me so much that part of the idea of this channel is we want to do it for the community. And again, now, why do I say that? What do I mean by that? Is because we want the community involved in this channel. Okay. Our ideas aren't just going to be about you and I sitting here talking about cards and cards we want and cards we want to collect and sets that are coming out. Because again, there's other channels that do that, right? You can go to a lot of other channels and see what the latest drop is going to be. You can see what market price is on this and that. And we're going to do stuff like that. And it's going to be Pokemon heavy because I don't know. I think it would be safe to say Pokemon. I'm not going to say it's the most popular, but it's probably the biggest one, biggest brand out there, right?
Most known.
Yeah. Because like, you know, One Piece, huge following, great, beautiful cards, huge following, people who play everything like that. Lorcana's got a huge, you know, following too. But we just want to be able to talk or have people from the community on the channel. And this isn't just going to involve, as I'm sure you saw in the teaser that I put out there. If it touches TCG, we're going to cover it. So we want to meet and have people from Pokemon Go on the show. We want to have someone who knows how to build decks get on the show. And that could be just one of you viewers out there. We want you to be like, hey, I would love to come on and be on your channel. We want to have the community on the channel. There is no stopping that. You don't need to be a big channel or a big personality or a big social media presence to come on our show. We want to hear your ideas. Email us, tell us, let us know what you want to see on the channel. We want to cover stuff like playing any of these games. So I know in Utah, Utah is where I'm from. There is, I believe he's a Pokemon Go champion. You know, so he could come on. And then obviously we have the ideas for the big names. Like we want Pat from Deep Pocket Monster. Pokehaxi again, I want you on. And Pat, I hope you're watching this too, because I watched your YouTube creation videos and you did say, keep asking. The worst they can say is say no. So I'm asking again, Pat, come on the show. I've sent you a message. I hope you see this. We want you on the show. Universe is another one. Poke Chloe, Poke Rev. I mean, these are some big ones. We want some big ones out there. And then there's even ones that are down the road. Bo Jackson's got a new one coming out. We want to see Post Malone. He's a big Magic guy. We'd love to have him on the show, obviously.
You have Gary V throwing stuff
yeah,
out there
Gary
right
V,
now,
who's huge right now.
V friends.
Exactly. And again, like I said, this is covering all TCG. This isn't just Pokemon. There may be an AB. I know I'm talking a lot here right now, but I know you'll talk about your background, and I know Pokemon is more your main thing and about the collecting and stuff like that. So there is going to be that kind of conversation. But like I said, we want this to include everybody. We want everybody to come on this channel and feel like it's home. And it's like walking into that game shop and sitting down to play on a Saturday afternoon and play a couple rounds of Pokemon, Locana, or whatever. We want you coming to our channel and feel that way, that it's somewhere you can go and you're like, dude, these guys get me. I get them. This is just a cool place to hang out. And obviously we're going to get more into the other specifics of things that we want to have on the channel, but AB, that's what I got for that right now.
I mean, that's exactly where it started. I mean, you came up to me with that idea. You gave me a call, and yet that's what it felt like. When we went to CraveCon, it was all about the community. You sat there and you met people for the first time. We all met people for the first time, people we had only ever known through their handle, and just with a small conversation of just asking questions, answering questions. I mean, you should see it in the community, whether it's eBay Live, I've gone through other platforms and seen, rips. I've seen people come in and do like energy breaks, but the idea was just, it's all about the community. Come in, ask questions, and get them answered. If you ask a question, you'd easily have 5, 10 people trying to answer that question, and they come from different angles, different points of views, different experiences. So it was just, what can we do to help? You get plenty of people would come into the stream and then just ask, hey, I'm just getting started into this. My kid's interested in, Pokemon, One Piece, you have Star Wars, you have so many things. The world is immense when you finally get everybody that collects. For one reason or the other, everybody collects for a purpose.
Yeah.
It's just a distraction, to have a
Right.
good time, for fun.
Totally.
Some people do it for monetary gain. Some people do it because they just want to have something cool to do. But the idea is just, let's do it for the community and involve the community. That was the focal point from the beginning, and that's the word we constantly continue to use. When you and
Exactly.
I speak, when you give me a call, when we send messages out to each other and we're texting back and forth, it's always been the community.
Yeah. And I exactly. I mean, I couldn't have said that any better. And again, that's how I feel about it too. This is what's going to make us different is we want this to be a channel for the community. And again, I'm not saying anything negative about any other channels out there. Those channels are all great. We all watch them. We all love them. Everybody knows who I'm talking about when I say this. But in a way, I almost feel like those channels they're made for entertainment, which is great, but we want people to feel like they're a part of our channel, that they're not just a part of it by being a number of viewer, by somebody who watches this, but that they've actually contributed. That, like I said, come on the channel. We'll have people on the channel. You and I are hundreds of miles apart right now, and we're doing this together. We could easily have someone come on the channel that's part of our viewers and be a part of the show. And that's what's going to make us different, is we are about the community. And again, I'm not saying that those other channels are not about the community. They definitely are. They are extremely generous people. They do amazing things for the community. But when we sit down and record, we don't want it to be just you and I. We want this to be the community on this channel. I mean, would that be a fair thing to say? That's kind of what sets our channel apart.
Right. I mean, in the end, getting people involved is going to help. And it's going to help immensely. So obviously, as the viewership goes up, again, that's going to include more questions, more point of views, more of an understanding of where people are coming from and why they're doing this. And then again, it's just, hey, finally meeting people, going to events, going around the community and introducing yourself there. But at the same time, growing your viewership, growing your access around the world, because we know, as big as we feel that the world is, it's also quite small. You run into people, you had no idea, hey, we live in the same town. So it's just interesting how you run into that situation.
And you like Pokemon, like, it's stuff like that, so, you would run into someone like that.
So it's interesting. It's fun. That's all it's supposed to be. Absolutely. As D has said it plenty of times, it is not a knock on any other channel.
No,
the way they do things. This is just us coming together, having an idea, and letting it evolve naturally, but including the audience as much as we felt like we could. SD would come to me with an idea of, how do we get the community involved? How can they participate in this? How can we make it just a little bit different that gives people, like you said, a place to go and hang out? So when you go to your local game shop and want to hang out there and have, meet complete strangers and want to have a conversation, you can, 10 minutes turns into 1 hour or 2 hours. We have plenty of significant others and family members or people that are like, hey, where did you go? Well, it turned into a quick visit to, I was there for a couple hours, because you just start meeting people and the environment just allows more content, more creation, more conversations, and just different ideas. It's just a beautiful melting pot of people coming together with no judgment, no, I would say, a knock on another community, but it's just nothing is, conceived or thought of. It's just completely random. You come in and that conversation will turn in one direction just because, hey, you know what? Oh, you grade cards? Oh, okay. Well, hey, how do I do this? And oh yeah, there's multiple grading companies. And then, hey, I just want to collect. I just like collecting for myself and for my binder. So that turns into that. Or hey, I have kids. So it just, every conversation turns itself into its own thing, and that's what we want.
Exactly. Off of just that thought alone, I mean, there's two separate thoughts off of that. Like, the reason for this channel too, this isn't just going to be for a beginner, someone who's never touched cards before. Like I said, I came into this whole hobby last November. This is going to span from the person who just ripped their first pack, or just downloaded the Pokemon Go app for the first time, all the way up to your seasoned hardcore investors, that this is a serious thing for them. You know, we're going to try to cover it and make everyone feel at home because they're part of this community. And the other part of that too is I've had other hobbies and I've been in some forums, and people aren't always as friendly in those. And that's one of the differences about this community is like you're saying, people can come in and ask questions and everything like that. But I have been on the streams before and seen the same question asked by multiple people, you know, within a span of 10 minutes, about 2 minutes apart. And in other forums, people would be like, scroll back up, look it up. I'm not saying that again or whatever. But in this community, people gladly answer the question again, and they're there to help, you know. And it's just, like I said, it just seems to me it's a really refreshing group of people to be around and be involved with, that we wanted to do something to give back to this community, so they have somewhere to have some fun and hang out. And yeah.
Well, I mean, within that same point, I mean, the fact that you say, well, within 2 minutes, somebody can ask the same question. Well, all of a sudden in that stream, you have people that have come in and other people have left. So now all of a sudden it turns into a brand new conversation.
True.
Now it turns into a brand new point of view because now somebody brought an idea, a thought, a process of something, the way they do things has now created a whole new perspective on things.
True.
And again, that's what makes everything so awesome, because everybody's going to say something completely different. Everybody's going to have a different point of view. But again, it only allows for the imagination to grow. And that's what makes it so awesome.
I agree. I totally agree. So tell us a little bit about you, AB. Where did this start for you? How long have you been doing this? What's your niche in the whole TCG world? You know, because like obviously, like I said, I'm not a serious investor collector. I like to collect. It started as collecting, but now I've started actually playing some more. So I would say I'm kind of a casual player, casual collector.
So, I mean, to go back to the beginning, it was just my brother started watching Pokemon. He was the younger brother, didn't really, watch Pokemon much, but then slowly got into it. You know, things happened and I just really fell in love with Pokemon itself. And that's around the time that Pokemon started putting out the actual Pokemon cards.
So we're talking back in the 90s.
Yeah. So this is back in the 90s. They first roll out. I'm a huge collector, a collector of things. I can collect anything. You talk to me about coins. I remember through the whole fad of Beanie Babies through McDonald's and collected Beanie Babies. I mean, there's so many things that have been collected. People collect stamps, coins, but for me, it was just Pokemon itself. I wanted to collect because I wanted to play the game itself with my friends at school. Yeah. By the time I finished collecting and actually built what I believed was a good collection of cards to actually learn how to play the game, they moved on into Yu-Gi-Oh! Started doing the same thing, got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Then they moved on to Magic. They moved on to Magic, and it evolved constantly. And I was always playing from behind because I guess I didn't come from a community of people that actually were interested in that. So I was just kind of out there on my own at the moment. But then 14, 15 years old, got into sports, and I always collected because I did have a family member that collected sports cards. So then, I mean, I started grading and I started sending cards out on my own. I live in Dallas, Texas, and the local grading companies here is Beckett. And first place I ever went to when I got my driver's permit, I actually drove to Beckett to submit cards.
No way.
So I took 10 cards with me, the sports cards, and I put Pokemon on the back burner, but kept my collection and just started collecting sports cards. I was mostly baseball and football. Kind of had a cousin that, collected and also ripped packs. And so I started understanding it's not just retail. Hey, there's this hobby, this place where you can go and spend real money to actually collect cards and, pull signatures and autographs. And so it just evolved through my love of sports. And then now that I was old enough to have kids, they started streaming Pokemon and pulled me back in. They said, hey, Dad, check this out. Come watch an episode with us. Sat down, started watching an episode. And I will always say one of the first cards that brought me back into it was obviously like the Gengar Altart. So just a specific card, the new things that they were doing with the design of Pokemon. And obviously I can imagine that the TCG world has so many other collections and Like One Piece, you talked about One Piece and their artwork. I mean, the things that are
Beautiful
being
cards.
done with cards nowadays are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
You're
even
you're
I've
not
had
kidding.
ideas.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Yeah.
had ideas of what could be done with cards nowadays. Because I mean, now they put diamonds into sports cards. They've put money into sports cards. They put Bitcoin. They've
Yep.
put gold. I mean, it's
Yep.
just it's never ending because now it's just created this huge, immense community that just it makes it all the more interesting and all the more crazy, to put it in a good way.
Right.
Crazy
Yeah, it
enough.
has. We're in another craze right now. I mean, and it's
Yeah.
done this before though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen everything peak out. And I'm not necessarily saying like we're in a crash right now or anything like that, but it's done this before, right?
Yeah. And it's always shifting. It's
Yeah.
always shifting. You can always look at it and always see people moving from one hobby to the other. It just creates new people. New people come in, whether it's through now the technology of actually doing Pokemon Go or Pokemon TCG. And just, again, it's evolved in itself. And I am going to say I will be Pokemon heavy just because that's what I choose to do. That's what I collect. I know sports. I know and have a background in sports, and I definitely love to grade cards. I will look at a card for anybody and give them my perspective on what I believe the card could be.
I've done
Obviously
it
now,
myself. Yep. You
and
have
it's
helped me
complete
on
stranger.
multiple
Hey, yeah,
cards. Yep.
yeah. So I mean, you complete strangers will come up to you. Hey, man, what do you think? Once, I mean, I've gone to local card shops, and the local card shop owner asked me, "Hey, customers here, check out this card," and then I'll look at the card. Hey, you know what? This is what you see, or I don't know if you saw this, but it's just again a different perspective
Yeah.
and
Well, and I was meaning
incredible.
I've had you look at cards for me.
Yeah. So I
I
mean,
mean, you,
it's
yeah.
just a real love for it. It's a love
Yep.
for the community. It's a love for helping. It's a love for grading itself. It's just I collect for so many reasons: to grade them, to get them slabbed. I get them collect sealed product. Pokemon. My kids love to battle with them now because slowly we're getting into the actual phase of playing the game. But now
Nice.
with Pokemon
Cool.
TCG and Pokemon Go,
Yep.
obviously, we live in a Pokemon household for sure. But
Yeah.
we collect anything and everything, so
Yep.
it's
I
awesome.
It is. It's fun. And see, and I think that's another thing that makes our channel different than every other channel is nobody else has SD and AB. Like
Facts.
your expertise and your knowledge on this compared to my rookiness of all this, I think we make a really good team. Like I have a lot to learn from you. I think we bring good perspectives from, all different sides of whatever it is we're talking about. So I think that's another big difference is just how we present these things and just like I said, the level of experience between you and I think we mesh and we make a really good team together to do something like this.
And the world is always changing. So I'll never know 100% of the world. Everything is a new part of it, whether it's cases, slabbed,
Right.
sealed product, Pokemon singles. I mean, just there's always new things coming out for any part of the hobby. There's new environments, new things are being created specifically for the TCG universe in itself. And all of it, it encompasses all of it, and it's what makes it incredible. It's what allows us to have these kinds of conversations, and they will be endless because we'll have a new conversation here in about a week that'll involve something else. It is
Yeah.
always ever changing.
Yep. I agree. I think then we can get into a little bit, if you want, about our ideas in the different segments, like what to expect out of one of our episodes. I mean, you want to move onto that now?
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm in a unique position where I get to travel a lot. So one of the main ideas, one of the first ideas I pitched to UAB when I brought this was what's turned into what we call now the local genius, right? Everything is going to have this theme of with the name TCGenius, which is obviously a play on TCG and genius. And I said, we'll call the viewers geniuses, or I mean, maybe we'll figure something else out down the road. But everything's going to have something to do with like the brain or smarts or something like that. This was one of the original ideas, and it's the local genius. And I travel a lot for what I do for my regular full-time job, and that gives me the ability to visit local shops. And the idea was, again, for the community to give exposure to the community and to those local shops on a big platform, just some more exposure. So it was simply go in, do a little shop tour, talk to the owner or the manager or whoever's there who can, do a little quick interview, and then purchase something. Because another idea we have, and we'll talk more about the second, is once a month we'd like to do just a live chat and have a hangout. But so that's that segment of the channel, and we'll have the local genius section where, again, we're just going to visit a local shop wherever it may be, whether it's actually locally to where we live or locally when we're out on the road, and we'll do an interview. We already have one done, two done. AB, you're working two. We have two done. So those will be in future episodes, and then follow up with them later on. But some really cool stuff. And there's just some really cool shops out there that cover a bunch of different things. So it's really neat to have the opportunity to go out and talk to some local shops all across the country and get that exposure there. And then again, involving the community, please email us and tell us what shops do you want us to visit. If you got a really cool local shop where you're at, tell us. And maybe it'll work out and one of us can be there and we can do a local shop visit and have them as a local genius.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what made it so cool when you first brought the idea. The idea was just exposure, right? But knowledge, So yes, absolutely everybody here is a genius because they all have something to contribute. At the end, it's all about putting knowledge out there and providing this for the community itself. So that way we know when one of the questions we would always see was, hey, if I'm in so and so town, any local car shops around? Am I close enough? So yes, you can Google it. Yes, you could probably find it
Exactly.
on a map, but then you don't even know what they offer, what they could possibly show or have you might have an interest in. And it's not to badmouth any shop. We are putting that out there whenever we visit these shops. We're not going to come here and we're not trying to discredit your shop. It's about your shop is here. It's about free, just publicity, right?
Yeah.
Just putting you
Yeah.
out there so that way there's somebody out here. Guess what? They have an awesome store. They have this store that focuses on whatever that TCG universe is at that moment, right? Whether it's Pokemon, One Piece, sports, it's just what's here. Hey, you know what? I'm just driving distance from so and so place. And when you brought the idea of doing all your travels, you're like, man, I'm within walking distance of some of these stores.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
be able to
It's
have
pretty
that
amazing.
access, that
Yep.
would be cool. And so then to know and to kind of just build this TCG universe map, as what we would call it, maybe a
Yeah.
navigation system of
Right.
knowing, hey, you know what? I remember watching the SD and AB show. I know what's there. I know where the shop is from because I heard it. They talked about it. I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah.
That's all it
And
is.
you and I have talked too. This is going to be later on in the game, but I think the eventual goal is we would like to have our own Discord. And then it would be great if it expanded and got to the point where maybe the Discord is separated by state. And if you happen to be visiting New York, you can click on New York and you can click on all the different shops that are in there and see on the Discord, what people have to say about what shops or what shops we've been to and things like that. So it'll be another resource just to be able to see where to go and where to find what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
And that kind of ties into the next section is we want to have a segment called the neural net. And that's essentially going to be where the viewers are going to submit to us local events. So obviously everybody can go online and they can see when the next Collecticon is going to be. But we're talking maybe your shop has a big card show or your city, let's say Toledo has a big card show. I don't know, but it's not really publicized outside of Toledo. We just figure if you write in and let us know, we can mention it on the neural net segment and that'll get a little bit more exposure. And if someone happens to be in Toledo that weekend, people would go visit. They'd be like, that sounds like a really cool show. I'd like to go check that out. So again, it's for the community. It's just a way to get more knowledge out there, more exposure for everybody to go have some fun, meet some new people.
And imagine meeting some of the people that actually follow this same show.
Right?
The idea
Yeah.
that you can go out there and meet somebody, see somebody wearing a t-shirt or hat. I know we walk around with our Crave gear
Yeah.
because it's just imagine running into somebody that, hey, yeah, I've done it before now. Now having a t-shirt or a hat that shows Crave and where this all
Yep.
started from for us, they've
Exactly.
recognized, hey, you've seen the Crave show and it creates a conversation. And now it's almost like if you know the person, it's no longer the introduction, that awkward phase. It's like if you've known this person for years and years, and it just makes it that much more fun, easier, and it kind of breaks that initial barrier of not knowing somebody to just, hey, I feel like I know you. I've talked to you. I've said hi to you on the daily or even weekly, whenever you've come into the shows or the streams. The idea is just, getting out there, knowing people, growing that community, and letting it take a life on its own, because I think that's what this is going to do. It's just going to go.
Exactly. And I think honestly, I mean, just a kind of a simple way to put it would be, we have this massive TCG universe. And like we've already said, I mean, there are so many different games and so many different sets and so many different, between Lorcana and Star Wars and Pokemon, obviously, One Piece. I mean, it goes on and on. We want to take this massive, massive universe and make it smaller. I think that's kind of what we're trying to do here a little bit, is just try to make it a little bit smaller, a little bit more easy to navigate for everybody. And just make it even more approachable than it already is, you know? And then we have a segment that we want to call Market Smarts. And again, this all in line with the brain, intelligence, smarts, genius kind of theme. Market Smarts is what it sounds like. It's just going to be us talking about, you know, what we think is up, what we think is down, what's a good investment, what isn't. And then again, none of this is anything that's backed up or for sure. It's just our opinions on these things. But we just want to be able to talk about that, or be like, hey, these cards have been hot lately. Like, these are picking up, and here's the prices on these. So, I mean, it'll be talk about that.
I mean, yeah, it is, considering the fact that the market fluctuates from here to there, again, because everybody collects for different reasons. It really just, again, provides different point of views or perspectives. Maybe you collect because you'd like to put a good collection in a binder. And then all of a sudden, no, you know what? Now I want to get into the grading process of things.
Yeah.
Or from the grading process, you know what? I need a little more perspective on collecting sealed products. And it's just, in the end, it's going to encompass all of it, because it's just going to make everybody more knowledgeable. It's going to answer questions.
I agree.
It's going to provide people with information that we know, some things we don't know, and we're going to learn with you, the viewers, at the same time. So we'll just experience those events as we go. But it's going to make it all the more fun, because it's just going to create this opportunity for everybody to gain this wealth of knowledge. And it's going to provide, I would say, a safe place, a safe haven for everybody to come in. Again, no judgments. Come here, have a good time, talk with us, interact, you know, see what we got to say, or hear what we got to say about the specific subject. And yet also, you know, click on the different episodes that come in. Once we start putting more episodes out there, everything's going to have a little bit more content, a little bit more information. You know, so we might touch on a specific subject, you know, for one of our shows, but then later on we might put out one specific show that's just all about that one specific event or one specific item.
Exactly.
And it helps everybody, because everybody does have a lot of questions. People do come in, and they are learning as they go.
And that being said, just like you're saying there, like, we might have an episode that concentrates on grading and the different companies and the different processes and how that works and what's involved with all that. And that being said, I mean, not every episode is going to be for everybody. You know, you might have people that are only interested in the TCG Live or Magic online play or Pokemon Go or something like that. You know, they don't really necessarily care about the cards and what they're worth and collecting them in that regard. But again, it's just, we kind of want to touch on everything. And I mean, and that's our next segment we're planning calling Genius Drops. And that's going to be talking about new sets that are coming out. Like Pokemon's got Black and White coming up here pretty soon. Our what is that? White Flare and Black Bolt. Or do I got that backwards?
No,
I think that's
White Flare, Black Bolt, White Flare. And then obviously that'll be the end of what we know now as the Scarlet Violet universe.
Yes.
Or Scarlet Violet era. And then everybody's gearing up for the megas, right? Everybody's
the megas. I've seen those. So that's exactly, like, right there. That's exactly what we would talk about in the Genius Drop section. It's going to be the drops that are coming up, not just in Pokemon again, the new, you know, OP that comes out for One Piece, the next Lorcana set, even like I mentioned in the teaser, the new Kickstarter stuff. You know, there's actually some really neat stuff on there. I've actually got one set that I bought. I got some first edition boxes and a starter deck for a game off there, and that'll be something we'll talk about on the show too, and maybe we can get them on to come and talk about their game. But again, we're going to cover everything, touch everything, and then
real quickly,
again,
just to mention the fact that we talk about being maybe Pokemon heavy, the fact that some people don't cross the barrier of going and collecting in a different language. I mean, we talk about English, everybody can look it up and say, oh yeah, certain things or certain sets are coming out in English, but the fact that people start crossing into collecting now Japanese, and then you have Chinese, you have different languages, Spanish, German. You know, we have plenty of people that have shown us cards, and I've seen cards in languages I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
So it's just going to make it all the more fun.
Heck yeah. And nice you mentioned that, because the Chinese, the gem boxes, with the last one with all the evolutions and those, all
the different foils, right?
Yeah. And all that. I mean, they're just beautiful cards and such a cool set. I mean, and that won't come out in English.
And exactly, exclusive to that specific language. I mean, you have 151 that's being cranked out in the Chinese universe,
right?
And yet it's going to be beautiful because they're not being offered in English or any other language. It's Chinese exclusive, and yet it's going to make it all the more crazy when it comes to actually collecting it. I mean, we've seen cards come out that are specifically to a specific language, and yet make the market go crazy because you're just never going to be able to get it any other way. And I know we've been talking about it just in the last day or two about you're a One Piece collector, and yet you know, you have sports teams that are now crossing that and doing
Yeah,
like a
right.
collaboration. You have
Yep, that
One
Dodgers one that
Piece
just blew up,
with
man.
Monkey D. Luffy, and then people are going crazy. And yes, we can
Totally.
say that people are scalping it or collecting it or hoarding them, but the idea is it's just another part of the universe.
It is. There's another guy I'd like to have on. I can't believe his name is escaping me right now. But maybe we do an episode talking about like the scalping and the flipping and that what that environment leads to, or just our opinions on that. But he's the Canadian. He's got a YouTube channel and he talks about the guy cannot stand Whatnot. He does not like Whatnot.
I know who you're talking about, and the name is
Yeah,
escaping me too
the
because
name is
I've never. And it's off of Reddit, right?
Yeah,
I guess that's how he
he's
started.
really funny. His channel's good. I watch a lot of him too. So we'd love to have you on as well, sir. I'm sorry I don't remember your name at the moment.
It's evolved. It's evolved just like if anything else because
Yep,
it's constantly
exactly.
happening and new sets, new craze, new people.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just taking on a world of its own.
Yep. And then even like the last craze of this summer, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk, Vayner Nation, and the V Friends, man. Series 3 just came out, and man, was that kind of a bombshell. I mean, I know personally I've talked to some people who were like, we totally blew it on that one. I should have gotten in on that because it has taken off, and Series 4 will be coming out next year. The new sticker series just dropped today, and I mean, that thing is just going bonkers now. And there was a one of one got bought for $40,000 out of V Friends. Yeah. Craziness right now. Gary Vaynerchuk, Mr. Vaynerchuk, Vayner Nation, if you would come on our show, we would greatly appreciate that as well. Love to have you on and pick your brain, ask you some questions. Big fan. My wife's been part of your wine club for a long time now, so please come on the show.
I was going to say real quickly, you also have Magic. Magic, I feel like, has a little bit of an uptick because they did their collaboration with Final
Chocobo
Fantasy.
cards lately.
Yeah, everybody's gone crazy with that. I mean, I remember I only knew about it sparingly when I was younger. Everybody chased the Black Lotus card. Was that the one, right? The big chase card that everybody talked about. But now, I mean, I can't even remember the name of the card that everybody's going off of, that big card that, you know, it's got all the variations and colors of
it's
what
the
I would
gold
call
chocobo.
like the big chicken. Yeah, it just looks like a big chicken to me. I don't know,
so,
multiple colors, but yet it
Final
looks
Fantasy
cool.
7 was the original PlayStation, and that game was my jam. I played that game so much, love that. And I obviously I was not the only one where that nostalgia kicked in when that set came out. And it's such an amazing set, amazing cards. I pulled some good cards out of that one too. I got the Japanese version of the Sephiroth, which I sent off for grading. But yeah, Magic's a whole nother one too. I could talk about Magic for a long time. I really enjoy playing that as well.
And that just goes to show you right there. See, you know something that I don't know about. So even though you call me an expert and you say, oh man, I've been doing this since November. Yeah, you have something to contribute that I have nothing to contribute about. So I'm going to learn with the community just as well because that's what makes it all the more fun. Yeah.
And that's why I said we make a great team. And I'll save that for another episode, but I got a funny story about how I started playing Magic too. So yeah, real good time. So I won't say this is the last segment that we have, but the last one we'll talk about in this half episode here is IQ Rips. What's IQ Rips going to be about, AB?
So the idea was to get the community, again, more involved, because that's what this is all about, is letting people submit what they break. I mean, what they rip. I mean, what is it that you rip? What is it that you found? I know that people go out and they find, you know, packs that haven't been opened in a long time, packs that are completely random. You know, they find them at dollar stores, estate sales. The idea is just, it's not about a monetary thing. This is about you, the viewers. What is it that you see? What is it that you collect? What is it that you find? Rip it and send us a video. We love to show it off to the community and say, look, they're still out there, whether, again, an older set, newer sets, just things that are maybe out there that people have access to. It's just, you know, allowing the viewers to come in, show us what they were able to pull, and be part of that excitement. Because I know that I love seeing people rip packs
totally,
and have a good time and wish nothing but the best for anybody. I want you to hit the chase card, right? That makes it all the more fun to see somebody rip a brand new set or an older set and just hit that card, the card that they're wanting. It just makes it all the more fun. And SD definitely has some incredible ideas down the road about things that we would love to do. He threw down the challenge of like a Salt Lake versus Dallas thing, where it's like he opens packs, I open packs, and we'll definitely get it more into that, you know, down the road and talk about what we'd like to do there. But in the end, it's about getting the community involved.
Yeah. And just like you said, we plan on eventually having some fun challenges, some fun things. Obviously it's a huge bar to meet, like stuff like Pat from Deep Pocket Monster does, where he gives himself 151 minutes to complete 151, you know? I mean, but we would like to have some fun and do some stuff like that too. Not necessarily exactly the same thing, but just fun challenges like you were just mentioning about, you know, like we have a certain amount of money or a certain amount of packs and we see who rips the best ones with our kids or something like that, or just some other fun stuff. We've talked offline, obviously, about a couple of other ideas that we've had. And then the guests. I've already mentioned a lot of them that we would love to have on, but then we also have some of our friends like Bailey from Crave, who's a shop owner. We want to get him on, and we want to get his perspective, his story on what it's like to actually own a TCG shop. That is something that I think would be really interesting that viewers might want to see, to get that whole aspect of that. And through Crave as well, through the eBay live stream that we've mentioned before, we have our friends that stream over there, and we want to get those guys on and talk about what it's like to be, you know, streaming and getting to, you know, see and touch and hold those cards every day. I mean, there's some really big bangers on there that, you know, that's just part of their daily work. They just
Their daily lives. Imagine that. Yeah, I mean, I know plenty of people. I still go back and forth between how I started for me, whatnot, and then has evolved into eBay Live. Now that there's plenty of streams that shift over to eBay Live, but I still dabble with whatnot because I go in at night and Stacks Collects. Stacks Collects is huge because the idea that he's, you know, bought his own building and made this his world. He's always stacked to the brim with product. He's always bringing out new things for the product. He's made it his life because it's just having this building where he's going to do streaming, where he's going to have a shop where he does the streaming at night. I mean, he's talking to you about how he from 3 a.m. till about, you know, 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and he probably sleeps a couple hours a day, but yet, you know, he's cranking out multiple streamers that are ripping all day, every day. The idea that he's, you know, evolved, where it's gone for him and where this hobby has taken him. The fact that he's taking trips now to Japan, the fact that he's going to stream, he's going to write a book. I mean, it's taken on a life of its own for him as well. And
That's awesome.
Get those perspectives would be incredible because, again, it just lets everybody know, it gives everybody a wealth of knowledge, and Stacks is awesome.
And I think too, like I mentioned, like, you know, we want some big hefty goals, big hefty names. I mean, Deep Pocket Monster, Poke Rev, Poke Haxi, Universe, Poke Chloe. I mean, all these big. You mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Bo. Sorry, I was gonna.
Bo Jackson too. Post Malone. I mean, all those guys, Post Malone and his story of the ring, the one card from Magic and how he gets that. Like, those are obviously some really, really big names. And like, we would just, I mean, be beyond appreciative. Gary Vaynerchuk, if they'd come on the show. But I think a part of it is those guys, a lot of them and gals, are huge creators and really busy on YouTube. That I think, again, what makes us different is we're giving them an outlet where they can just come tell their story. They can just come be them. They don't have to be in front of a camera because they're trying to make content. They can just be a part of the content, if that makes sense, you know?
Absolutely.
So we want to do that for the community. We want to give those big names a chance to come out and maybe for all of us and all of our viewers to see another side, you know, of them not being in front of the camera and running around and trying to complete the whole set of Crown Zenith in, you know, one day or something like that. But I mean, it's super entertaining to watch. Love it. I've seen all of Pat's videos. Love him. Such a great guy from what what I've seen and everything. But yeah, we'd love to hear that side of their story, you know, and how they got started and everything.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that for our local baseball team, the Texas Rangers, we have Josh Jung, who's their everyday third baseman, who has started, you know, putting out content out there where he has met up with a team member from like every baseball team that he's played with, and he's starting to show, you know, ripping packs, whether it's sports, whether it's Pokemon, or it's, I mean, so it's taken on a life of its own for anybody and everybody that's decided to come in and just see what they can make of it. You know, so again, it's not just exclusive to one thing. This is about a wealth of knowledge across the entire TCG universe, and that's what we want it to be.
And what I love is it just seems like it's becoming way more mainstream. And what I mean by that is, like, there are some people out there that your average person probably would have no idea that they collect Pokemon, like Steve Aoki.
Yeah.
The guy is an amazing DJ. I mean, he is involved with some really cool stuff, and the guy loves TCG, starting his own TCG. He was at LA CollectCon. Love to have him on the show. Steve Aoki, please come on our show. I hope you see this. But yeah,
just on social media the other day, I just happened to see this. Simon Cowell. Cowell was walking around at, was it a Collecticon or a local show?
No way.
But sure enough, walking around. Oh, yes, it was Pokemon. You know why? Because he picked up, they showed at the end of it, he picked the Rayquaza VMAX alt art. out of
No
Evolving
way.
Skies in a PSA 10. And I'm like, Sam, really? Like, really? It's
Yep.
like that? Like,
There you go.
so I mean, it just
Yep.
it surprises you who collects,
It does.
why they collect.
I mean, we're going to at least talk about it, about people like that and everything, but we'd love to have them on the show, obviously. But, and then even like the Biebs, Justin Bieber, he's a Pokemon collector. Never would have thought the Biebs was, but so the Biebs, hey, let's get on it. Let's get
If
on
you're
the
out
show.
there, right? Come
Yep,
on.
exactly. So, but yeah. And then, yeah, like I said, we've got some really cool ideas for some stuff for us to do. Oh, and then another thing about visits real quick. I know we've had the ideas and we've talked. The Pokemon headquarters is in Bellevue, Washington. I do go there on occasion. And I know it's basically the Fort Knox of TCG, but I mean, if I could somehow get in there, I know I've seen some other YouTube videos of people try to get tours and stuff and they don't do
Imagine how
that.
cool
Maybe
would
we
that
could
be,
get in
right?
there. Yeah, right.
Hey,
And I would
they
take
say
anything.
no to everybody. They say no to
Yeah.
everybody, and you might be the one guy. They say yes to.
Exactly.
You never know.
And even if it's just to come in the lobby and do video in there and say, hey, I'm standing in the Pokemon headquarters, that'd be great. And then AB, you had great ideas too. You talked about going to Beckett, going
Imagine.
to PSA and going in there and getting an inside view and doing a tour with them. So that's an idea for the channel.
That's its own Fort Knox right there, right?
Right,
Everybody always
exactly.
asks, right? When it comes to
Exactly.
grading, like, how do they go about it? Imagine getting your foot in the door with Beckett and getting a peek, just a peek behind the curtain of maybe their process or how they go about it or step by step. Maybe not to look at an individual card or a specific process or see a grader looking at a card, but get just a day-to-day process of how our cards go from point A to point Z at the end. And, you know, how do they do their own thing?
Right. Exactly. And then another visit where I grew up in North Syracuse, TCG Player. That is where their headquarters are. Love to go in there and talk to somebody and see their operation. For more of what I understand is they have no cards. They are just I don't know if they're the middleman or they're just the point where everybody can come together and they're the platform where everybody else can sell individually on there. But still, it'd be a cool visit. And I think a lot of viewers would like to see that and see what's involved with that. So, and obviously since I grew up there, my dad still lives out there, you know, that's another place I go and I can make a stop in there. So,
that'll be a good one. Here in Dallas, well, we have Beckett headquarters here, but we also have Graded Guard. Graded Guard is this new fad, right? Where people not only collect, but now they collect within collecting, you know? So now you want to collect the card because now you want to make it look good. You have it. How do you display it? So that's its own universe now. That's kind of starting to have its limited drops, and, you know, creating its own little craze within the universe itself, because it's all about protecting the things that we spend plenty of money on. So now you got to protect it, right? So you can only imagine how cool it would be to meet up with like the Zion cases. I mean, the idea of just that's its own branch within this universe of everything that we love and know and would just love to be a part of. So imagine being able to see their process, maybe you see how it's made, or, you know, how they go about their drops, what things are they doing, what's coming up. It would only be amazing just to also get a tour of that place, because it's also here in Dallas. And then PSA is talking of possibly bringing a facility here to Dallas as well, in the Plano area, one of the suburbs here in Dallas. But how amazing would that be as well? Imagine Beckett and PSA down the street from each other. I mean, who would have thought that, right?
Totally cool. Yeah, that's going to be amazing, man. And have that right in your backyard. That's awesome. Really, really cool. Well, folks, I think for our half episode, kind of our intro, this is honestly just a way for us to practice and figure out what we're doing, see if our sound quality is good. I don't know. We could get done with this and go to edit and none of our sound went through. So we're about to find that out here.
You see two guys just, you know,
just talking and moving hands and laughing, right? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so this was also part of the exercise, I guess, was just us being able to get in here and actually put something down, record something, and then go through the process of editing it and trying to put something up on the channel here. So folks, geniuses, YouTube, we're here to stay. I'm just going to say that right now. This is just something fun for AB and I. We enjoy our weekly conversations about Pokemon and trading cards and everything like that. So obviously, like we said, it's about the community, but we figured, what the heck, we might as well have some fun and make a show out of it, of us just sitting here talking about what we enjoy. So until next time, I'm SD.
And I'm AB. Thank you very much to all you geniuses out there. As
Take
always,
care.
We'll be here. Like SD said it, we're here to stay.
All righty. See you later.